All right. Hello and welcome to our call tonight. So I'm really excited about tonight's call. It's number 4 for our training on the Instagram, and it's all about engagement. And I actually just watched the training today and took notes, and I have slides as well. But it's one of those things, it's all these great reminders. When I was even chatting with Erin about it, she's like, I already forgot kind of what it was. It's one of those ones too. I'm like, I feel like I need to listen to it every Sunday night to remind myself what is important to really, if you want to connect with more people on Instagram and really as part of our business. And it's changed so much from when we first started coaching. And so to hear Shalene and Brock talk about it and the time they spend on it, because remember, they have like full-time huge businesses, that is Instagram. And so when they talk about the time that they spend on it and what I do, I'm like, okay, that seems reasonable for what I do. But it's just all their tips and everything is really, really good. So did you want to touch on anything, Erin, before we started? I didn't. Okay. We posted, both of us posted in our builders page, the agenda for this week. We're both doing coach sneak peeks. I'm like, what are they called? It's been so long since I did one that I forget what it's called. But we've been doing them every other week now with Ignition Mission as well on Saturday mornings. So you can obviously plug people in there as well if you'd like. But we'll share more information with that. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. Let's get up onto the first slide here. Okay, I got to go back to Zoom now. All this little. Okay. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see this? Thank you. All right, 5-day. This is day 4. So just some tidbits. There's 1 billion Instagram users on Instagram. So I don't want to ever hear I can't find my people. There's 1 billion people on there, guys. And the market is not saturated either. If people tell you that, people need our help, and there's specific people that will connect with you and not the other. I mean, they say there's 400,000 coaches, but let's be real, that's not all working coaches. But there is that many Instagram users. So the average person follows at least 250 people. So it's our job to make sure you get seen, okay? And so to that, today's agenda, I'll call it today's, but they talked about TOM, and what that stood for, which we'll go over, is top of mind. So you want people to come to top of mind when they think of something for you. It's like, what are you an expert at? Or what are you, I think of Ashley, Wine Wednesday. I'm sure a lot of people are like, wine, they see some challenge or something, like, I have to send this to Ashley because that's happened to her before. And so it's different things like that, top of mind. Stop the scroll, obviously that has to do with like an image, a caption, call to action, use stories to promote your feed, and then top engagement tips. So account management or account engagement is how active you are with others is the greatest predictor of post engagement. So they really talked about, if you are wanting more people to engage on your post and on your feed and in your stories, it really comes back to you and what you're doing. Are you actively spending a good chunk of time on Instagram engaging in different people's feeds, stories, and posts, or communities essentially even? And so that's a good way to tell if you are growing, is how much time. I find personally, when I actually dedicate the time, and I have it in my scheduled like power hour to do 15-minute chunks, and they talked about even doing more if you're able to. Like, connecting is the biggest piece, you guys, of this business right now with the social media platform. But I have 2 15-minute chunks of time that I try to do every day, I should say, of just connecting with people, whether that be watching their stories and engaging on there, engaging in their posts, or engaging in other influencer communities, which are my type of people then. How to be a Tom, get your posts to show up first. So how to be a Tom is top of mind. So how to get your posts to show up first. So they talked about, that I have to actually talk about that. They talk about, if you are engaging with other people, then though your post will be seen by those people when they're actively engaging in your stuff, if that makes sense. So if you have people responding to DMs, if you have, or responding to your stories, answering polls, liking, all that kind of stuff, then your posts are going to show up first in their feed. someone on the call had mentioned in the comments to Shalene, she's like, Shalene, you used to always be one of my first stories, but now you're like farther down. And Shalene said, that's because I have not put out content good enough for you to want to engage on, and you haven't been engaging on it. So therefore Instagram's like, oh, she doesn't want to see this stuff because she's not engaging with the content that Shalene's putting out, if that makes sense. So when you are seeing people that you want to show up on your feed, then start engaging with them. But also remember, like putting things in your stories, which we'll talk about tonight, putting different things in your stories to be able to have people engaging on it, whether that be answering a poll, a question, slider, and then responding. When Instagram sees you guys talking behind the scenes in a message, a private DM, then they're like, oh, they're connected. They want to chat with each other. Erin says, it's crazy to think how many people are on the platform. She also talked about how she hadn't been as consistent with sharing. Yes, she did. It was a time when she was fasting a bit from posts and stories. Yep. And she was actually doing this 5-day growth. And so she was less on social media, more focusing on this. So that's a great way to get your post to show up first, is the people that are engaging in your post. That's where it's going to show up first for them. So stop the scroll. The image, okay? That's all about the image. It should be eye-catching, a clear focal point. I kind of joke about this, but when we were in Mexico last year, I think it was Mexico, Jake was joking how he was going to create an Instagram training for husbands, and how the first one is to clear the screen, or like take your shirt and wipe the lens. But that's what Brock was exactly talking about. He's like, wipe the lens before you take a picture, you know? And so when they said that, I kind of chuckled because that's what Jake was teaching us. But make it eye-catching, a clear focal point, uncluttered, a high resolution. All of our, like they talked about, you don't need to go out obviously and buy a fancy camera. Our iPhones are amazing and do great photos. Have it be something unexpected. And they gave some examples. I don't know if they're on here, but something unexpected, like this one was unexpected. There was a few other ones where it was unexpected. And so having something that's not the normal, what people see, because if it's something they normally see, then they're tempted to just keep scrolling because they already know what they're going to read about or see. And so having it something unexpected, making eye contact, and then having that curiosity as well. And so when you see this image, you're like, what is this all about? It kind of stops your scroll, but then you're kind of like, fast in progress, what? And you want to read about it. And so that's what they talked about, is having that image stop the scroll. Gotta see this. My sister-in-law bought me a light ring and a phone stand holder for my birthday. That's so awesome, Melissa. Those light rings are so great. I have a little one on my phone. Better captions lead to more engagement. So think of what you're writing about, and are you asking people to engage on your posts? Yeah, we have to like really ask people to engage on the post, ask them to comment, ask them to share it, ask them whatever you want them to do on it. But you want to have a captivating caption so people will continue to read it and then do what you ask of them to do when it is a call to action. So then it talks to, here's the code for 2020. Instagram serves us posts which it determines you most want to see based on your behavior and activity. It is all on us. So you can't blame the Instagram algorithms if you're not actively on there engaging with other people. Now, this is something I have always said from day one, is like, it's a social media platform. You have to be social on it, okay? We can put up all these posts, but if you're not actively socializing on it, then no one's gonna really see your posts. So as such, you see posts from accounts you have interacted with most recently. And that is so true. That is so true. There's specific accounts that I always look at their posts. I always read them. I like them. I comment. I will watch their stories right away. And those are always the first ones I see, especially when they just post. And so what are you actively doing on there, which we talked about already, to be able to not only have more people see your stuff, but then to have them engage it with it too. It's all, Brock talked about, it's all about relationships. It is all about relationships that you have built, building your own essential like little community right there on Instagram that can grow. But even if you have, you know, 50 people following you, you can build that into a community just where you're sharing specific things, they're engaging community, and then they want to tell people about it, top of mind. They want to tell people about it, and it continues to grow from there. Or more people see it on the Explorer page, or you do a funny reel, or you do a reel that helps people, and it's on reels I'm just seeing a ton of on the Explorer page. And so it's all about what you're serving in your post, but how are you actively engaging on the platform as well. The question is, how do you get people to interact with you? And so here's all about feed and engagement. So what counts as an interaction includes comments, likes, shares, saves, and views. So obviously we know what a comment is: liking, people sharing the post, people saving the post. I get that a lot when I share recipes or our dinner meal plans for the week. I get a lot of saves for those. And then views in general, whether that be on your stories. Aaron, likes do the least for overall reach, saves and shares help the most. Yes, like that's what we heard a ton in, is saves and shares. I don't even care how many people like my post anymore. Like there's times when I have probably more saves than likes, actually. I did a recipe, I forget what it was, a recipe last week or whatever. It had shares, it didn't have a ton of likes though. And comments help boost your content higher in the people's feed. Yes, and so I forget account engagement relationships, they're talking about that. And so what they talked about is like, how are you interacting with these people that are engaging on your post? And so for example, they talked about when you do get new followers, are you sending them a message? And they said, no, don't send the, hey girl, they said, don't send the, hey girl, you know, my name is so-and-so, I love posting about fitness, are you on your own fitness journey? They're like, do not do that. They said, just, you know, just say hi. Or Shalene says sometimes she's even like, just hi, thanks for the follow. And that's really it. Or what do you want to see more of? Different engaging questions. I have a little thing that I send actually, but I might change it up now based on what they said, but I don't even say anything. I just ask if we have anything in common based on what I share about myself. And I get some people to respond, some that don't, but they talked about ghosting is totally normal. They said they get ghosted all the time as well. And so that made me feel good that even Brock and Shalene have people that don't even respond to them. Here, it keeps doing the chat. Let me check the chat here quick. Aaron, so comments are huge for getting your content. Yeah, I can share mine too. Yes. I'll just actually drop it in here for you guys because I have it saved as a short text, or I forget what it's called. That's what I have as of right now. What's it called? All of our phones have it. Text replacement. That's what it is. Yes. And where Aaron just, does everyone know, put in the chat, do you know how to save short text or shortcuts? So under settings, you can do that, which they did talk about that inside here, where you can save different. So I just type in IG intro and then that whole message comes up and then I just put their name in it. But you can also in Instagram do it as well. Yes. Kelsey Jordan, do you have an iPhone or an Android?
I have an iPhone.
You have an iPhone? So the one where you go to text replacement, like I always type it out first in a note. And then if you go under settings, and go to, hold on. Yep, okay, so go under settings, hey buddy, and go to general. And then you go under keyboard. There's a spot called text replacement. And that's where you can put it in there. But always type it out in your note section first. Hold on one, guys. Let me mute me here. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Kelsey, did you find that? Okay, perfect. That's where you can do it. And then in Instagram, Aaron, do you wanna, I have never done it in Instagram.
Yeah, I can show you guys here. Okay, so if you go into your messages, let me see so go into your messages and click the like you're going to start a new message up here. And then I'm just going to choose Kelsey here. And then when you get into the message down, oh gosh,
I made
down. Okay. Down at the bottom, you're going to see this black
plus sign.
The black plus sign. Why is it so hard to do this? There you go. Black plus sign. Click the black plus sign. And then there's going to be this little bubble at the end here with the 3 dots. If you click on that, that's where you can make quick replies. Okay. So if you press the plus up at the top, that's where you can make new ones. And you can name them whatever you want. So I have like a check-in, a group 1, group 2, holiday intro. I have a not now response. So if someone says no, I have like a quick response back to them. Like, okay, thanks for your response. Like, in the meantime, what can I share with you or whatever? Like, so that's a nice way to just have them saved rather than feeling like you have to type it over and over and over.
Awesome. I love that we have so many of these nice resources. Okay, so yeah, they talked about that, having those shortcuts too. Okay, account engagement, all about relationships, the amount of back and forth activity between you, the account, and other Instagram users. So they talked about specifically staying on the platform when you are going to do a post. Choose to stay on the platform to engage on there. And Brock says he does at least 30 minutes. Sometimes, I mean, granted, they have accounts where I feel like they're getting a ton of comments. And I would love for one day that happened to me where I feel like I have to stay on for an hour to like engage with my community in the comments of my post. But even just engaging, like responding to your messages, engaging in other people's stuff, when you stay on the platform after you do a post, it does help your engagement, even if someone's not specifically if you're not getting a ton of comments on there, but then you're on there to see the comment right away and respond if needed. And they talked about, someone asked if you're going back and forth between somebody in the comments, do you ever just end it? They're like, no, don't end it unless it's something that should go into a private message, but just keep it going, because that always helps with your engagement. Don't post and ghost. Yes, don't post and ghost. There are so many times, you guys, I would just be like during nap time and it was getting close to 3 o'clock and I would just quickly do a post and then I'd just be done for the day. And I'm like, no, you got to actively try to think of a time when you have a set amount of time, whether it be 15 or 30 minutes after you post, that you can engage on the platform is ideal to really help your post reach more people. Steps to maximize account engagement. Welcoming new followers, sending them a DM. So creating that message. Shalene and Brock kind of had a difference on this. Brock said send either a video message or an audio message, kind of change it up so it's not a copy and paste. And Shalene said, that's creepy. No. And so it's kind of like whatever you feel comfortable doing and what you would want to receive. Like she's like, if I got a video from someone, I think that's kind of weird. But Brock's like, I think it's fine. So welcoming new followers, whichever way is best for you guys and you feel comfortable doing. Just a great way to really just start a conversation though too. And you have people that do want to engage on the platform. I think there's just one girl that we started following each other after I found her. She lives in Minnesota. She had commented on the Rambling Redheads comment section, and I introduced myself. She interacted back, and she's like fully always engaged. I swear she's like an extrovert and just loves talking to people. But she was one of those people that just started interacting right away, and we connected right away based on our life, the number of kids we had, the season of life, all that kind of stuff. But I welcomed her, and she was one of those people that responded right away. Not everybody will, plenty of people won't, but they'll still continue to watch my stories, and they'll answer a poll and I'll respond to that, and it's all me, none of them, but they're still watching. I'm like, okay, whatever. But interactions on stories, they really highly recommend doing one of these a day. I am so horrible at this. I'm always think of one and then I forget to do it. But polls, quizzes, the slider stickers, something for them to engage on your stories. Once a day, they said, do something on there. So remember to do that. Respond to likes, so starting the conversation. If you have new people liking your posts, just starting a conversations with them. Respond to comments. They talked about continuing the conversation. They even talked about if someone does comment on it, So, okay, let's say you post and you spend a half an hour on the platform and you have a couple people that comment and you respond back to them. Don't heart it yet, they said. And they said what you should do is the next day, I think it's farther down here too, the next day heart it. And they said to wait because then that prompts a notification to them that you liked their comment. And then when you do another post, they'll see it right away. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So don't heart it right away, just respond to it right away. But the next day, go back and heart all the comments on your post. So then that person gets a notification. Responding to comments, respond to DMs. Obviously that's huge. I just got a response from my intro message that she started following me because I have wine lips. I love it. I get a lot of my grocery haul that people found my grocery haul. And so that is so awesome, Ashley. I love it. Responding to DMs, obviously deepening the conversation, and then commenting on existing followers' posts. And so when you're following certain people or they're following you back, going to their page and commenting on their posts as well. And not doing a comment of, oh, so adorable emoji or anything, like something that's meaningful, that you actually took time to look at their image, read their caption, and have something is ideal. You need something, bud? Or you just want to sit here? You can sit here. All right. What, honey? Okay, just a second, okay? The more time you spend building relationships on Instagram, the more engagement you will get. So I know sometimes, I remember, why don't you grab your own water? Go turn on the light right there, honey. Do you want my flashlight? There. But the more time you spend building relationships on Instagram is the more engagement you will get. So that's like the bottom line. And I just remember I watched a training by Kim Fitzpatrick, and she always says, if you have extra time, spend it on Instagram building connections. This business is all about relationships and connections. And so what can you offer value for people? And build those connections on Instagram. Well, Instagram, whatever platform you're on, but I will say most of us are obviously Instagram, so that's why I talk about that. And here are steps, you guys, to maximize your post engagement, which is immediately after posting. Add hashtags to your post. We talked about that already. Add your post to your story. Like comments on yesterday's post, like I mentioned, you guys, like don't like them right away, like do that the next day. Engage within your niche and on hashtags you used. That was a new one for me. And so when you're using these hashtags, go on those hashtags and engage with other people that are using those hashtags. Directly send your post to followers who might relate. So this one is huge. Like I did a poll in my stories of who wants to know more about my morning routine. And so obviously a ton of people comment or answered the poll. Then I did a post about it. What I should have done is took in that post and directly shared it with the people that answered that poll. That would have been the ideal. And I could probably still do that. Does everyone know how to share feed post by your story? Yes. Okay, awesome. So yeah, directly sending your post to followers who might relate. And I think even like, Erin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I even think if you're engaging with someone and they talk about like a specific thing, like they want to know more about, and you find it on another person's page, like sharing that post with them, like offering that value to them, be like, oh, I found this and thought of you. I thought that is another way, for sure. Yeah. Another way to them to just, continue to build that trust. And stay engaged as new comments and reply with a question. And so they talked about that, at least, setting aside some time after you post to be engaged on the platform and replying with questions. And then it says, ask for it. Every caption should have a call to action that promotes engagement. So leave a comment below on, you're asking someone to do that. Be sure to share this to your story if, Erin, you're so good at this too, doing your call to actions. Save this post if you think you'll need it later. Thanks for liking this post. So you're already thanking them before they do it. Let me know below if you agree. Tell me about blank below. Okay, now it's your turn. And so these are just examples of call to actions that you can use on your post to get people to engage. Of course, not everybody will, but plenty of people will engage. was it last week I talked about the poll and stories of what to wear. You can do the same thing in a post, whether that be what to wear, anything, what to have for dinner, where should we go for dinner, where should we go on vacation. That I just thought of that, like considering like, COVID and not a lot of people have been able to travel. It's like, where should my first vacation be? Beach or mountains or, anything like that. Okay, did you get water? I'll see it after I'm done, okay? All right, use stories for engagement. This is one we've already mentioned, and we hear this a lot. Even Amber's good about sharing this during our power hours, but the slider bar, asking a question, the small shop, what song should I sing? The question one, polls, all those different options, huge in stories. Good copy will captivate the reader. Good copy uses curiosity. I don't know. Okay, sounds good, buddy. Okay, then they had homework. They did talk about too, you guys, if you look at the number of people that are following you, and if you have a 10 to 20% engagement rate, percentage of the people following you engaging on your post, like that is really, really good, they said. And so just look at the number of people following you, and then what is your engagement rate on your post, whether that be likes, whatever it might be, and then be able to know how that you want to increase that, essentially. So Aaron asked, do you guys get engagement on your story polls that aren't bots or coaches? I get a ton of bots. The other day when I did one, I haven't been getting a lot of bots lately, knock on wood. Like, I don't remember the last time I got one. It's been a couple weeks at least, or maybe even a month. She said respond to them, but I don't know if about in stories or was it on a post. She said, because she used the example, especially when you get the ones like, hey, I want to collab, send me a DM on your post. And then she talked about the one like, hey, I connected with so-and-so and I paid $40 and now I make $1 million doing Bitcoin or whatever it might be. Like, she talked about these specific ones. She's like, I engage with those, because that's engagement. But Brock did talk about if there's something that's super creepy, like just go ahead and block it. But Shalene's like, it's all engagement. And I'm like, I don't want creepy people following me. But yeah, stories lately, I have not had the creeps or the bots or anything like that. If not bots, do you get a lot of good people that aren't coaches? Melissa K, she's asking that too, not many bots. So, but I've learned that when you have those people that comment on your posts that say, hey, would love to collab, DM our main account, and they take their main account or whatever, I'm just like, thank you for, something. I just comment and say thank you. Because I knew that does create engagement. Most of the time, yes. All right, and then they had some homework items, which I think are really, really helpful for you guys to what to do going forward, okay? Creating that message to welcome new followers to your page. Creating that welcome message, put it in your text replacement, in your Instagram saves, whatever it might be. Interactions on your stories, make it a part of your power hour. Like, I have a checklist that I do that I want to get done every day of specific things. Adding that to, did you do an interaction on your story for people? And then obviously taking time to respond to them. I'm horrible at that sometimes. So doing that, responding to likes. So starting those conversations, responding to comments, continuing the conversation, responding to your DMs, obviously always important, and then commenting on existing follower posts. And so if you are ever stuck on what do I do for this work session, here is 6 amazing things to be able to do to just pick up that engagement on your social media platform and connect with more people. And it's all about, and then they specifically talked about too, which Aaron and I have been talking about this, as being known for something, which I mentioned at the beginning. Like what think about in your life, like what are you known for? What do your friends and family come to you for? What what comes naturally to you possibly. And all of us have something. Don't say you don't, because all of us have something that we are known for. And I was telling Erin, there's a account I follow. She's a fellow homeschool mom. But I look forward to her page. Like, that's what she's known for on Instagram, is sharing a ton of homeschool stuff that is so helpful. She adds so much value, and that's all she shares about, is all homeschooling. And so, and now just literally, was it like a month ago, she just started selling things through her website she created and stuff, but she has been building up her Instagram following for the last year. I mean, she's been homeschooling now for 4 years. So, I mean, she's been building it up over time, but that's what she's known for. And that's the first account I thought of when they said that, because I know that's the first thing I think of for her. But then I think of someone like Ashley, as we both follow the Rambling Redhead. What is she known for? I don't know. She's funny. She cracks me up. She literally just shares her family, but she's so funny. And if you just need a good laugh, I just go to her page. I don't follow her because of her shopping sales that she shares, because I don't buy anything that she shares. But she's just so, I actually fast forward through all her stuff that she's sharing about shopping stuff. But when she shares her family and stuff, I think she's just hilarious. So it's just like thinking of you specifically and what content can you bring to offer value, but that comes naturally. And sometimes it takes some time to ask those people in your life those questions, that like, okay, when you think of me, what do you think of? And even asking your followers possibly too. I remember I did that once. It was a question box thing, I forget. And I just said, you know, when you think of me, what do you think of? And just like words I wanted to hear, just because I was trying to figure out what specific things, like, that when they would think Wheeler Fit Life, that they thought of. And so just another way, and even asking each other here, you guys, like, if you want to be like ones that where we've known each other for a while, like, what do you think of? I helped Ashley with that. I forget, late last year, a year ago now, maybe, on different things. And that's when I'm like, you're known for wine. Like, start sharing wine stuff and date stuff and all that other stuff. So did you want to add anything, Erin? Oh, Chelsea wrote, okay, most of the time, yes. Polls, I do. It's the same ladies who tell me not right now, but keep following and engaging. Yeah. The thing is, they want to, but it's just, they do. Otherwise they wouldn't keep following. These people that keep following me, I'm like, I always want to be like, why? Like, I don't understand, because I'm like, I'm not that interesting. And clearly I'm on here to help people and share about it. So I just don't understand sometimes why people continue to follow, if they're never going to join. But then I'm like, no, they want to, but they just haven't yet. But yeah, they'll keep engaging. Some of them straight up ignore me. I know. And it's like, I mean, even I think about how long I followed Amber. Like, I requested information for 6 months, 3 different occasions before I finally joined. But I was just like so frugal that I was like, I'm not spending money on that. My husband's a personal trainer. I don't need that, until I needed it. And then now look where I am. So clearly it was meant to be, but it's one of those things, it'll eventually happen. And then they'll be telling themselves, I wish I wouldn't have watched for 2 years like Ashley and waited this long to join. And so it's one of those things, they'll just tell themselves that later. They'll be on these calls being like, I just wish I wouldn't have waited so long. But it's our job to continue to be consistent and continue to show up and share. And there's some people that'll just join sooner and realize they need this in their life, and some that may just never need it, and that's okay. They have their own thing, but there are plenty of people. When there's a billion people on Instagram, there's plenty of people that do need it and that our feeds can reach as well. Erin, did you want to add anything? I didn't ever know if you responded.
I can't think of anything else. I think that's good.
Does anybody have any questions at all? Does this all make sense? I mean, it's one of those things, like, you know it, but it's like actually doing it. At least it is for me. It's like, I know this. I know that engaging on the platform is important and everything that, but usually it's the one thing that I leave to the end because there's so many other things I have to do. But I'm like, that's the one where I'm going to obviously grow and connect with more people. Responding to comments is the only thing I will say is super important. Yeah, responding to comments, and which I can often forget to do as well. It's massive to make sure the people that do say something to you are seen. They want to be seen and heard. Yeah. And I think so often we can, at least this is for me, and maybe some of you can relate, is you put up a poll, even if it's a general poll asking questions, not a join my group, but a general poll, and let's say you get 5 people to respond, but you're like, oh, only 5. No, that's 5 people. Like, cause I can do that. I can be like, oh, only that many people responded, but it's like, no, that many people responded. Let's focus on the people that are engaging, not the ones that aren't. Okay. Let's focus on the people that are showing up to your table, that are at the party. They did talk about that too, how like you like invite all these people to a party but you're ignoring all the people that are at your party, your current followers, because you're out there busy trying to get everybody else to come to your party when you're not even helping the people at your party. And so it's like, let's focus on the people who are following you, who are showing up, who are engaging, who are watching and everything like that. And then like when you have that extra time, okay, let's go find more people, but always remember to take care of the people already at your table, already on your page, already engaging. All that kind of stuff is super important. Shalene and Brock say they read and comment to everything, even hundreds of comments. Yeah, Shalene said she does her account all by herself. She does not have anybody that helps her with her specific account. She has other Instagram accounts which have people for her, like other businesses, but her personal account, she only does. So she responds to all her DMs. Brock obviously responded to Aaron. They'll have hundreds and hundreds of DMs and they're the ones responding to them. So sometimes they're like, we'll be on the platform for 4 hours just responding to comments and DMs, but that's their gig too. And Brock's, I mean, he's not married, but has no children either. And this is like his life. So, but it's super important. Yes, they want to be seen and heard. Okay, and if you guys are watching the recording, for those, if you have any questions, obviously just post them below because Erin and I would be happy to answer them, or anybody else too, because we all obviously use the platform and know a lot about it. But anything else that anybody has at all? He's playing with my phone. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. And oh yeah, Turner, do you want to share? Do you want to take a picture for us? We'll have Turner take it. Okay, hold on. Let me close the chat. Okay, you gotta take it. Can you do it up and down though? Okay. Here he is. All right, say cheese. You gonna do an up and down one now?
1, 2, 3.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Let me make sure before we go. Oh, that's really good.
And
All right,
okay.
You did good. Oh, there we go. Thank you guys so much for hopping and taking time out of your night. Have a fabulous rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys all soon. Bye-bye.